Welcome to Series 11, Exploring Martin Heidegger. This is Paul Medeiros coming to you today from city of New Bedford, near my residence. Martin Heidegger is a 20th century German intellectual. For Philosophy 225, Martin Heidegger will champion the moral life, committed to self-conduct and some or all areas of belonging. Martin Heidegger will argue for the importance of the homeland for any good life. Let's hear Martin Heidegger's biography. Let's summarize our readings for the week and also review our learning objectives to guide our study. First, the biography. Martin Heidegger was born in the 19th century, in 1889, in the area of Western Germany known as the Black Forest, also known as Swabia, an area of mountains and farmland and small towns. Martin Heidegger was born to a Roman Catholic family and was raised in the Roman Catholic Church. An outstanding student, Martin Heidegger won Roman Catholic scholarships. In high school and early on in college, Martin Heidegger prepared for the priesthood. At some point in his studies, Martin Heidegger switched from preparing for the priesthood to the study of philosophy. At some point around 1919, the author indicated in writing his decision to depart from the Roman Catholic Church. In the 1920s, Martin Heidegger became known as a talented, innovative lecturer. In 1927, he published his first and most famous work or book titled Being in Time. Being in Time examines our assumptions about being. The author proposes that time is the primary way in which we understand being. In 1933, the National Socialist Party came into power in Germany, and Martin Heidegger at that time belonged to a public university, which would fall under that government. In 1933, Martin Heidegger was elected by the faculty to be the head of the faculty and students. And in that capacity, Martin Heidegger would collaborate with the National Socialists, and he also joined the National Socialist Party in 1933. This is a significant controversy for those scholars who study Martin Heidegger. Some scholars conclude that Martin Heidegger's thought is inextricably bound with National Socialist ideas, and other scholars see a significant difference between Martin Heidegger's thought and that of National Socialism. What is certain, in 1934, Martin Heidegger resigned his leadership position at the public university, and his reason is that he could no longer work with the National Socialist government. However, we know that Martin Heidegger continued his membership in the National Socialists until the very end of the war in 1945. In 1945, the Allies arrive in Germany and they establish denazification committees that will investigate persons who may have collaborated or participated in National Socialist actions, and Martin Heidegger was among those professors investigated. And in Martin Heidegger's case, they concluded that he ought to retire. He ought to move to emeritus status as a professor, and that for a short time he should be prohibited from teaching. because of his powerful influence, and he was also banned from involvement in the administration or the politics of his public university. Let's look at two life statements of Martin Heidegger's. Both of these are in the 1955 document. On page 43 of the memorial address, Martin Heidegger writing, "I thank my homeland for all that it has given me along the path of my life." And let's look at another statement referring to human life. This is on page 52 of that same document. Martin Heidegger writing, "We do not stop to consider that an attack with technological means is being prepared upon the life and nature of man, compared with which the explosion of the hydrogen bomb means little. For, precisely, if the hydrogen bombs do not explode and human life on Earth is preserved, an uncanny change in the world moves upon us." Martin Heidegger's writings and philosophy are very difficult to read. There's a complicated vocabulary that one has to learn. Our readings in Philosophy 225 show Martin Heidegger at his most accessible. The first document is a 3-page document titled, "Why Do I Stay in the Provinces?" This document was written in 1934, very likely after Martin Heidegger resigned as the leader of the faculty and students. And in this document, Martin Heidegger explains some of his career choices, and he also talks about the importance of the homeland. The second document was prepared 20 years later. It is titled Memorial Address, and it is a public speech to the author's hometown of Meeskirch. In the speech, Martin Heidegger again explains what he means by the homeland. The author distinguishes at least two kinds of thinking, meditative thinking and calculative thinking, and the author provides his objection and concerns about modern technology. There are some extra documents available for Philosophy 225. In the biographies reader is a short biography, and I've also put on our web pages the first 3 pages of the proceedings of the Denazification Committee, in which they come to their conclusions about Heidegger. There are 3 learning objectives to guide our study. First learning objective, to distinguish calculative thinking and meditative thinking. Second, to examine Martin Heidegger's proposal about the importance of the homeland. And third, to understand Martin Heidegger's objection to technology.